Have you ever thought of elevating your student experience within your course? Or you feel like your course is not performing up to par with your standards, right? Or do you wish you could have less one-on-one or even group calls offered as a bonus with your course because your time slots are filling up? Then, my friend, this video is for you. Stay around and make sure to drop all your questions down below, or if you want to get more tailored and more intimate answers, then make sure to slide into my inbox and we can chat over there. So, my name is Zsuzsanna and I help overstretched business and mindset coaches like you to turn their one-on-one coaching packages into digital courses, namely self-study courses, to have the life that they planned for when they started out on their online journey, right? And all through January, we talked a lot about mindset. We talked a lot about how 2020 has taught us to be more flexible and adaptable, and how we need to reconsider our priorities and what is it that we need to focus on in order for us to be able to make the same impact and work less hours, right? So today I am telling you 3 important things that you need to include into your course for your students to be able to follow through with the course. It also helps them keep up their motivation, and what is even more important, it allows you to offer different bonuses than weekly Q&As or Pick My Brain on Voxer, or I keep you accountable over Marco Polo, or just email me whatever you don't understand and then we go over it one by one. So, uncertainty, right? This is where we all got like caught up with our own, not knowing what we are or where we are in 2020. And what it really brought to light was that it kills motivation, it kills drive, it kills everything that we need to be able to move forward, right? Yeah. It sucks, we have to admit. Then we also understood that people find it difficult to navigate uncertainty. So coming from these 2 learnings, although the Teacher Obvious method teaches this like for 3 years already, you have to include and be very transparent and upfront how your course should be learned. Not how your course should be taught, but how it should be learned, right? And so the first thing is that how much time do you think they need to commit? And you also have to understand that the amount of time or the duration of time that you need to allocate is more than how long your videos are. So it's nice that you say that your course is a 3-hour video course. Yes, it takes 3 hours to watch. But what else do I have to do as a student so that I get the results that you promised me on the registration page or on the sales page of that course? So think about that. So when you say this is a 3-hour video course, I have like the shivers, literally, like I want to scream, I want to pull out my hair, I want to say that, okay, it is like, so going through a course for you means like watching a Netflix series, but for the student, it feels more like, trying to go through the Enchanted Castle. You have to do something about that. You have to do something about that. Okay, so you have to figure out if your course is best learned in daily chunks, and if they commit as a student like 30 minutes every day to it, then they have hands-on experience. Obviously, if you have 40-minute long videos in the course, 30 minutes daily won't cut it, right? Either you cut your videos shorter, or you say that you need weekly commitment of 3 hours in one sitting, right? And then you learn everything you need to know about it during those 3 hours, and then you are good to go. No, that is not a course. No, that is a lecture, right? Okay, you also need to be very transparent and upfront about the resources and the other tools that your course requires, right? For instance, if you want your students to keep a diary or a journal because you are a mindset coach and you teach something and you want them to keep a record of their progress, I mean, not just, like a log, that checklist. Monday done, Tuesday done, but like, the transformational progress for the course, that you also need to tell them that they are going to need a journal or a piece of paper or whatever they want to use. And it is part of the course, requirements, so to say. Or if you teach business and you want them to book certain calls to figure out ideal clients, for instance, which is a genius way for beginner coaches to get to know their target audience and who they want to work with, which niche they want to find themselves in. And then it's amazing for them to reach out to people and hop on calls. But then you have to tell them that there is this thing called Calendly or Acuity, where they can, design their own days and times and availability. And that is how it looks professional, like their possible clients can book out times for themselves, right? So that is also something to keep in mind. And then you teach them how to use Calendly or Acuity, and then how to connect it with Zoom or Google Meets or whatever you want. Or if you believe that being on Voxer is something that you want them to be, then you teach them how to use Voxer. That is also a resource. That is an innately, or part of the course, however we want to say. So this is tip number 1. How to design their days and how to manage their time and what resources and apps they need so that they can move forward. And you have to be upfront about it at the very, very beginning of your course, right? Then you also want to be clear about your type of course. So is it more like a contemplative kind of course, or a implementation heavy course, or a mastery driven course? And I tell you what they are, but then you have to explain it as if they were like 5-year-olds, right? And why do I say that? Because if I see somebody teaching something that I want to learn, then I don't have the background information of the amount of effort and skills that goes into it, right? So you want to be clear about if it's a contemplative course, because you just want them to, be ready to move forward with you. And it's more like a series of lectures that leaves them, wondering that, okay, so is this possible for me too? You can do that. You can do that. And then by the end of the course, you can pitch them your one-on-one services if you want. Or is it more implementation heavy? Which means that if you are a mindset coach and you teach tapping, and you want them to be able to create their own script, their own tapping routine, basically tapping is about teaching them the certain bits and parts on the head, right? And how to design the script. but then you want them to create a habit around it. So if it is implementation habit heavy, your course, then you want to include habit forming activities for them to be able to, you know, implement everything that you have taught them during the course, right? And then mastery driven. Mastery is something that, you know, for instance, if you are a business coach and you help people reach 5 figures, that is like a broad topic, because there are more ways to reach 5 figures. So most definitely what you are teaching is different marketing strategies. And most probably the first round of attempt to reach 5 figures is not gonna happen. Most likely, okay? So there is no overnight success. Nobody can pull off a 5-figure launch just out of the blue. So it takes like practice. And it is a series of practices with the same strategy, the same, you know, process that leads them to mastery. So this is mastery-driven approach to a course. But then you want them to know that if they reached at the end of the course, how they can assess what they have found out about the process or the system itself or the strategy that you taught, how they can build on that and design the second round and then the third round and maybe the fourth round. And yes, brace yourselves. Very few people made 5-figure months right off the bat, just for you to know, right? And then there is another way that you can keep your students' motivation high. And that is if your course is a linear course or a design your own adventure type of course. And what does it mean? A linear means that when you upload your course material into your course platform, then most probably you have units, and within the units you have lessons. You can call them modules and steps, whatever it is. So there are bigger chunks of, you know, course sections, and within each of the section you have smaller steps, right? And if it is linear, then you want them to go through the course because it teaches exact steps, right? For instance, in tapping, first you need to know where to tap and how to tap, and then you need to learn how to write a script, okay? Or if you teach meditation, then first you want them to create a habit, assess whatever it is that they can use as a trigger for meditation, and then you teach them how they can design their own experience, for instance. So that is again a more linear kind of experience for the student. But if you are a business coach and you want to teach beginner people, beginner coaches or coaches, new coaches, whatever you want to call them, and it's not an offense. We have all started somewhere. And I remember having, you know, the nightmares about why do I have to niche down? Why do I have to create a tangible offer, and so on and so forth? And now I am the greatest proponent of knowing my ideal client and having a tangible offer, right? So with that said, if you teach it, then most definitely you teach them about ideal client, how to create an offer, and how to sell it, something like that, right? So if you put all of them into a course, then it doesn't matter where they start. They can design their own experience. If they feel closer to packaging their skills first and then finding out who can benefit from it, fine. If they want to start with who they want to work with and then what problem they want to solve for them, it's also fine. Some people have, you know, general idea of what they want to do, or like a broad enough idea, and maybe they just want to learn how to promote it, and then they start with the promotional phase. How to design a social media presence, how to, you know, communicate the value that they want to convey with their services, and then they will narrow down naturally, because then they are going to meet like everybody and anybody out there on the cold streets of social media, and they will figure out, I could have saved the heartache and, you know, the mental breakdown if I had been you know, more specific about who I want to work. I wouldn't have signed Claire or Karen. I like to call them Claires. I don't know why. Really no aversion here. Just Claire sounds, you know, Claire. So those Claires, because I really want to work with, I don't know, who is your ideal client? How do you call them? Right? So with that said, these are the 3 things that you want to make sure to include at the very beginning of the course. You can call it how best study my course, how to navigate my course, what to do with my course. But then make sure that you follow through with it, right? So just a quick recap. There are 3 things you want to be very transparent about at the beginning of your course. One is time management and resources. Then the second one is, I have to look down. Yes, the type of course that you have designed for them, and if they want to take it in a linear manner or a design their own adventure kind of manner, right? So with that said, leave your comments down below. I'll come back. And now, here comes the juicy part. If you want to learn more about it, there's no better place than Course Launch Accelerator, because this is something that I teach in the Teacher Obvious method. I show you what it really means to design an onboarding experience for your students, starting with your social media content or your promotional content or launch content, whatever you want to call it, and design it all the way until the student really dives deep into your obvious that you teach with your course. Why is it important? It manages expectations, it boosts motivation, and it empowers your student with their, you know, with their studies. Studying is not easy, it's messy, you know, even to get started. So with that said, if you want to learn more about Course Launch Accelerator, make sure to DM me and let's chat about it. If you are on Facebook, at the top of my page, you can book a call to see if Course Launch Accelerator is the self-study course for you. It comes with lots of bonuses. So make sure to check it out. You might fall in love with it. Until next time.